It is October 3rd, 2017, and I am doing a recording of the Owl Evocation. This is the Owl Evocation spot. I feel so blessed to be able to utilize this spot and to be guided by the great owl totem. So this is the Owl Evocation for full moon. So what I am doing here is the first full moon of the beginning of every dark half of the year. I usually choose a different goddess or goddess archetypes to work with. Normally, I stop working with Freya for the most part from the light half of the year, and I go into kind of the underground and work with the darker goddesses. Mostly I work with Persephone, but this year I decided that I wanted to kind of work, since I had worked with Persephone so much, I decided that I'm going to, and I believe that I basically invoked her at this point. She has become a part of me. I worked with her so much that now I'm going to evoke 3 other goddess archetypes that I've worked with in the past, but never intensively. And I would like to do that. So I'm basically acting now as Persephone, standing in front of the gates of the underworld, the gates to the shadow world, the gates to dreamtime. And I am basically asking for guidance from these 3 goddess archetypes. And these 3 of my circle cards here, my weird oracle cards, represent those 3 archetypes. And those 3 goddesses are Arianrod, Ariadne, and Ereshkigal. The full moon card represents Arianrod because she is the weaver of the silver wheel in the Welsh and Gaelic traditions. The yarn with the spiders represents, and the pincushion represents Ariadne. Ariadne is the keeper of the labyrinth. And then, of course, there is Persephone. The raven in the cage is indicative of Persephone, but in this context, she is going to represent Ereshkigal. Because the cage is open, she can fly out, and Ereshkigal can help Persephone, her sister, do that. And then the little vial next to that is the water that I started making with the solar eclipse in August and continued throughout the rest of summer. I did also use some of the water, the moon water from out the light half of the year in that. And today I'm going to be taking that and putting it down there, which I might show in a separate video, but there's a little waterfall pools area down there that I'm going to release it into in a way of releasing the energy from the light half of the year and entering into the darker half of the year. That there is, of course, pomegranate juice and a pumpkin bread muffin. It's got pumpkin and some seeds and things in that to represent the fall. So this is my dream box, which represents all of the dreams I have for me and my family. I always include that in my altar. This is just a nice little harvest candle. And over here I put my cards to kind of anoint them in the ritual. That thread there, which is tied 3 times, it's hemp thread. It represents Ariadne. And I'm going to untie it after the evocation so that I can have access to those mysteries that she holds. And that little stone right there sitting on it, you can't really get a really good, let's see here, it's my worry stone. I've been using that all spring and summer. And the 4 owls in the center represent the 4 corners, and that is, so I'm going to take the white owl to represent Luna. I'm giving the pink owl to my daughter, my oldest daughter, because her favorite color is pink, and I'm giving the greenish blue owl to my younger daughter because her favorite color is greenish blue, aqua blue, and the yellow I'm going to give to my son to be the light in the darkness when I cannot be there for him to help guide him. I think that the Fae will be fine with me doing that and not leaving it for them. So again, basically the difference between an evocation and an invocation. Okay, so an evocation is basically when you're sitting down and having a cup of tea with a certain archetype, a god or goddess, a spirit, an animal totem, what have you. And it's basically kind of inviting them into your workings and trying to see how you feel about them, learning more about them, and just basically having a first date. Now this won't be my first date with these goddess archetypes. I've worked with them numerous times. I've just never worked with them to the extent that I've worked with Persephone, except for Arianrod. I have worked with her to the extent that I've worked with Persephone, but it's been a few years and I feel like I want to work with her again. So that is what I will be doing. And invocation is when you actually ask that goddess, god archetype, spirit, animal totem, what have you, into your own being, and you represent that for a period of time. I have done that with Freya, I have done that with Persephone, I have done that with Arianrod, and I have done it with a few others, but not these two, not Ereshkigal and not Ariadne, which I really want to just evoke, get to know, and see what, how I feel about their workings more. I definitely am asking for their guidance in the dark half of the year to help me walk through the labyrinth, to help me walk through the maze, to help me walk through the dream time. Because this is the time of year that I do extensive work with the dead, the spirits, the underworld, and the darker parts of the spiritual consciousness in the dream time. So I ask for extreme guidance and protection for that. And therefore, I have also chosen to evoke, ask for help from the owl spirit. I shouldn't say chosen, because the owl chose me. I had a dream about this totem before I even found it. There are two other totems that I'm supposed to find. One I believe has an eagle or a hawk, and the other has a raven. In my dream, they were all together, but I believe they are probably in separate places. But I definitely dreamt about this one before I found it. I was visited by many owls and many owl messages and messengers, and so I definitely feel like the collective conscious, the cosmos, the universe, is trying to get me to work with the owl totem. To me, the owl totem represents seeing through the darkness, protection, because it sits very high. It can see a lot from where it sits. In this context, she is watching over her baby, so that kind of makes me feel like this is also asking these goddesses as well as this archetype to help me watch over my children over the dark half of the year, and especially to have the spirits, the totems, the archetypes watch over them when I am not with them. And also the owl is about wisdom, and I think that the Ereshkigal archetype has more correlation with that. There is a famous depiction of Lilith that a lot of people mistake for Lilith that is actually Ereshkigal with an owl. These are, ooh, wait, hold on. I have a spider, just a second. Oh, goodness sakes. So, there's this spider. Where did it go? There it is. There it is. Hold on. Or no, wait. That's a little baby spider. Look at it. There it is. I have no idea if it's poisonous. I don't care. It's a messenger. It's definitely the spider. Oh, I wish I could get a better picture of that. You can't really see it very well. But the spider represents, to me, definitely Ariadne. I'm going to hold the camera while I kind of help this little guy onto a branch or something. There we go. There we go. So, where did it go? There it is. There it is. Let's see if we can't get him to... I am going to have to... Oh, goodness sakes. I'm going to have to make this part one and help this little thing onto a branch or something, because I don't want to hurt it while I'm doing this. Vocation. Where did this spider... There it is. Right there. There it is. There she is. I let her down. I didn't want to crush her while I was moving things around. There, she's so beautiful. That is my messenger. Definitely Ariadne, the weaver of the sacred thread. So that is pretty cool, and that kind of stuff happens during rituals. Animals are amazing. They have so many messages for us, and they are so connected to us. And it's interesting that it is an insect, because I actually connect more with insect totems like spiders and bees and ladybugs and scarabs, beetles, ants, things like that than I do animal totems usually. I usually don't work with a lot of really strong animal totems or get messages from them, but I am constantly getting messages from the insect. So what I will be doing for each goddess is I will be saying a little incantation 3 times, and I'm going to say, just to say those so that you know what they mean, I'm going to say each goddess and which the incantation is. So for Arianrod, I will be saying I am Aryan Rod with intellect and silver sight, once more making apathy and cruelty put even-handed and right. Because she is not only the keeper of the silver wheel, which connects people's lifetimes and soul groups, but she also is about karma and making things right with soul groups. She's been really strong in my workings with my soul tribes and things like that. She's amazing. And then for Ariadne, I will say I'm Ariadne with thread of fate, keeper of sacred gates, because she keeps the gate of the labyrinth to help people walk through the underworld, but also to help people to find out the mysteries of the unknown. And in her mythos, she actually decided to help the people that were supposed to be sacrificed to the labyrinth because she felt that it was wrong. And I feel like for me, I try to always find a more neutral or less malicious way of doing things spiritually. And I don't believe in the extremes when it comes to those things, especially when it comes to harming people, curses, things like that. So she definitely connects. I feel very close to her in that way for Ariadne. I also feel close to her in the way that she works with the Dreamtime. She is the architect of Dreamtime. I believe they used her in a movie, at least her name, for the girl who was the architect in Inception, which is a really good movie about dreams and how they work, actually. It's very interesting and gets a lot right. And then, of course, finally, Arishka Gal. And because I have a sister, a spiritual sister friend, who I've known for quite some time, since 1999, and she, to me, embodies Arishka Gal. She's taught me so much about Arishka Gal's story, and through her I learned so much about Arishka Gal. So I'm also honoring her in doing this because I just feel like she's somebody who helped me see my gifts, especially during the dark half of the year, and helped me basically not to be consumed by them or consumed by the darkness in the dark half of the year. I am Arishka Gal, sister and kin, bringing back the dreams again. So those are the three goddesses I ask for energy, guidance, and wisdom for in this journey into the underworld for myself. At the end of the blessing, I say, let my will be done, let my work be blessed, let my will be done, let my work be blessed, let my will be done, let my work be blessed 3 times to connect the subconscious to the conscious and then to the superconscious so that all of the parts of myself is one. So this is what I'm going to be doing. And when I'm done, I will drink some of the pomegranate juice and leave some for the Fae. And I will eat some of the bread and leave some for the Fae. And for the owls, because the owls do eat grains and bread if they get hungry enough. Normally they eat mice, let's just be honest. Mice and rodents. And I wasn't going to place a dead rat, or actually you're not supposed to give them rats, but a dead mouse on the altar. That's just not my style. So I tried for something a little more vegetarian. And then I opened my eyes, and this little guy was eating all of the things I left for the Fae. He's eating the pumpkin bread. Oh, I love these little messengers. Look at him. He's eating it. You like it, a pumpkin bread?